Tonight, rail, roads and air Spencer Gulf cities come together to discuss what improvements can be made to our transport system. And Seeds for Renewal, the grant program helping local non-for-profits revitalise communities around Broken Hill.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The Spencer Gulf cities are joining forces to identify the gaps within the regional transport infrastructure. They're looking at what can be done to achieve safer and more efficient access between regional communities.
Travelling via car, train or plane is something we do every day. But no matter what mode you choose, there are always going to be gaps in the infrastructure, which is why it's important for our region to work as a whole to explore all avenues.
One of the things that is the most important for us is we see heavy vehicles coming down the road, say to the proof range and all that sort of stuff. We could actually quite easily just extend the rail corridor a wee bit and drop the tanks and all that sort of stuff that used LLMA in by rail instead of having the highways congested.
Key areas of focus include transport within our cities, transport safety, freight efficiency, tourist routes and demands for new and improved infrastructure.
There's been talk of a new port at Port Augusta. That's absolutely fantastic. But when these companies come to us, they need to know, what's the best way to turn when I come down from the north? Do I go left or right?
Decisions made will affect everyone in some way, which is why locals are being encouraged to complete an online survey on the matter.
It's really imperative that community gets involved and says something about this, because this will be something that you'll need to put up with for the next 20 to 30 years.
The survey feedback will help consultants identify and address the issues and challenges of connectivity. Detailed responses can still be submitted to the study through Stantec's email address available on Council's website. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Seeds of Renewal grants are once again open for 2022. The program has been going for 20 years and is designed to help build vibrant and sustainable rural communities like Broken Hill.
Planting the seeds of a better future. Not-for-profit organisations in far west New South Wales are encouraged to apply for the Seeds of Renewal grants. The program known for enabling financial well-being and environmental stability. But that's not all.
Supporting homelessness or people at risk of homelessness and other projects that generally help those communities become more vibrant and thrive.
It is also nationwide, with Women's Wellbeing and Safety Hub in Port Lincoln, a Spencer Gulf organisation receiving over $5,000 in funding through the program last year. And while charities like Salvation Army can apply, they do look to cater for lesser known or new groups just starting out.
We do prioritise smaller organisations. We're really looking for those grassroots organisations that don't always have a lot of capacity to apply.
The total grant pool is $250,000, with each separate grant capped at $15,000.
Typically, we do between 22 and 25 grants a year. So we've had grants that are as small as $1,500 and up to the full amount of $15,000.
The partnership has been going on for 2 decades. Behind it all is one of the country's big 4 banks, ANZ, bringing big money to small towns, with every little bit helping to improve the lives of people living outside of the big cities.
With regards to homelessness, we understand that $15,000 isn't necessarily a lot of money, but it can be relief for organisations that are really addressing some of those issues of people at risk of homelessness.
Applications are now open, with the last submission to be in by August 3rd. For more information, go to the Foundation for Rural and Regional Renewal website. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The recurring statewide police operation Stop Drink Drug Driving was back in place over the weekend, just in time for the school holidays. In the 24 hours from 7 a.m. on Friday, 6,254 roadside breath tests were conducted, resulting in 31 drivers allegedly blowing over the legal blood alcohol limit. Additionally, 240 drug tests were done, with 22 people caught for drug offences. In total, 19 drivers were issued with an immediate loss of licence and 16 had their cars impounded. During the previous Stop Drink Drug Driving operation in June, 30 drivers were caught either drink or drug driving, that number nearly doubling over the weekend. Still to come tonight, after years with no live music, our Whyalla aged care facility comes to life after a visit from some touring performers. And get your thinking caps on. We're Starling Art to host a writing workshop for kids these school holidays. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. The Adelaide Guitar Festival has hit the regional circuit this week, stopping into multiple cities across the Spencer Gulf. In Whyalla, the team of talented musicians performed for residents at a local aged care facility, bringing a smile to many of the faces.
All it takes is one song to bring back thousands of memories. Adelaide musicians have travelled to Whyalla to perform at Helping Hands Copperhouse Core and Yeltana facilities. The artists performing some of history's best country, blues and rock and roll music to an audience that remembers the songs fondly. The sideshow is part of the Adelaide Guitar Festival, which runs throughout July, bringing world-class musicians to South Australia for workshops and community concerts.
It's part of a guitar festival that's held across the state, and Helping Hand is very involved in encouraging the artists to come into our facilities.
The hour-long performance had residents swaying side to side and tapping along to the beat. The musicians say the free concert is a fantastic way to spread some joy among the region's aged care residents.
It's really important for our residents. In particular, they don't get to get out as much as other people do, and in the last 2 years it's been a tough 2 years of not having too many people visit.
The same 4 musicians will also be performing at an aged care home in Clare, along with 2 more in Jamestown before they return to Adelaide.
Helping Hand already provide these sort of entertainment activities across their other sites, and we're looking to implement more of these activities in the near future.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new social enterprise is running an emerging young writers and illustrators program in Broken Hill. The program is the first in a series of opportunities for young creatives to learn from published authors and illustrators.
Though it's yet to officially open, Big Sky Stories is already running workshops for 11 to 15-year-olds and giving them a licence to get creative.
They'll be working through different activities to stimulate their creative writing, to help them in those endeavours, the things that they already enjoy, but to give them some pointers and tips to improve on that, but also some new experiences, maybe trying out new mediums and new techniques that they haven't done before.
For their very first workshop, the organisers have enlisted a speculative author who's had short stories published in a variety of genre magazines. They've also called upon an illustrator who teaches design, comic and animation workshops. Both are guaranteed to get the kids' imaginations running wild.
So the author who is coming is Ben Peake. He's a speculative fiction writer based in Sydney, and the illustrator who's coming is Claudia Collet, and she works in graphics and illustration, digital, lots of different medias.
The workshop runs for 3 days starting tomorrow, but the program will run each school holidays until April next year, and it's free.
The young people who participate from now over through till April will end up with a published piece of work. So we're not entirely sure what that will look like yet. We're trying to take some guidance from the young people who participate.
It is the first of many workshops Jane Vaughan and Nikki Wright hope to run when Big Sky Stories officially opens on July 22, with both women passionate about giving back to the community.
Felt that more needed to be done in the community to help creative experiences for children and young people.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The regional city making major inroads on the agricultural scene. And netballers from across the Spencer Gulf descend on Port Lincoln for the 60th annual Pedlar Cup. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. Regional South Australian towns are being recognised by the state government and Solstice Media. Crystal Brook is one such town, awarded for the vital role agriculture plays in the regional landscape.
Positioned at the start of the southern Flinders Ranges, Crystal Brook has been an agricultural hub for generations. So it is no surprise the town is in the running for the Agricultural Town of the Year award.
Happy that we've actually done Crystal Brook as this because, you know, Kimber won it last year and all that sort of stuff, and all due respect to Kimber's beautiful place, but Crystal Brook's better, so...
The town is full of successful businesses, both big and small and new and old. And be sure to stop for a bite to eat when passing through and look at the many attractions.
The pasties, the thick shakes. Do you want me to go on Bowman Park? You know, I think it's just so many things out there that we can actually get involved with.
The atmosphere and look of Crystal Brook has changed over the last couple of years and is only getting better.
And I really do think it's our time to shine. And I mean, when you drop into Crystal Brook, you just see how beautiful the place is. And
if you're proud of your hometown or have enjoyed a visit or stay in Crystal Brook, be sure to have your say. Voting is now open on Solstice Media's website, but be quick as voting does close on Monday, July 25. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Netballers from across the region made their way down to Port Lincoln over the weekend to compete in the 60th anniversary of the Pedlar Cup. The best players from each district were selected to represent their associations, but it was the home team who claimed the top prize.
The region's best netball players were scoring from all angles over the weekend. A carnival dating back to the 60s, still going strong. Despite some rainfall, association teams made the journey to Port Lincoln this year, with 2 divisions taking to the court.
We have Western Air, which is your Sejuna, Stokey districts and stuff like that. Then we've got Eastern Air, which is basically your Cleve, Goodna area. Great Flinders, which is obviously around the Cummins region. And we also have Whaler involved as well.
But it was the defending champs, Port Lincoln, who proved to be too strong again in this year's competition.
Port Lincoln has took home the Cup and the Shield this year, so we have done it before and we're very proud of the girls. Our Division 1 girls are back-to-back winners.
The big stage giving players a chance to showcase their skills and progress to higher levels.
To provide a great footing for young talent to grow and get into the state and stuff like that. And this is a great opportunity for them to do so.
And there is still plenty of netball action to come, with players returning to their respective clubs preparing for finals.
But now we're just going to be looking forward to the finals for the season now. So we'll finish up the rounds and then get into the finals, which we're all looking forward to, I think.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. All the results from the other sporting comps from across the Spencer Golf over the weekend. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. While some of our region's sports leagues took a break over the weekend, others jumped straight back into the action, ready to continue climbing up those league ladders. Netball competitions in both Port Augusta and Port Pirie seeing friendly rivalries continue to form as we edge ever closer to the finals. Here's Edward McCarroll with this week's Sport Wrap.
There was an upset in Port Augusta netball this weekend, with one team setting out to prove they still have the goods. Although starting off as a close match, Vikings, who sit atop of the league's ladder, started to slip away as the game progressed, giving the underdogs Railways the opportunity to run away with the lead and win by 17 points. Despite the loss being a blow to the Vikings' ego, they still sit comfortably at the top of the ladder, with no teams close to catching them. In the other game, Magpies took on St. Joseph's. Despite putting on a good fight, the Saints couldn't quite match the Magpies' performance, who went on to win by 14 points. Down in Port Pirie this weekend, Celtic had the bye, leaving Blue Wren and Solomon Town to hit the courts on Friday. Blue Wren continues to show great form, always being one step ahead of the Solly Cats. Blue Wren defeating Solomon Town 73-45. The other game saw Central Risdon cement why they're on top of the ladder in Port Pirie netball, crushing Port under an overwhelming scoreline. Central Risdon scoring 85 points compared to Port's 39. At the moment, it looks like Blue Wren is the only team that holds a chance of beating Central Risdon as we progress into finals, with the two teams facing off when the league resumes next week. In Port Lincoln soccer, the Knights went up against the Raiders, with the teams looking evenly matched in the first half, entering into the change rooms at half-time with only one goal separating the two. As the teams returned to the pitch, the Knights youngster Ethan Franklin scored a terrific top corner goal, giving the keeper no chance at all. This goal opened the floodgates for the Knights, who went on to beat the Raiders by 7 goals. In the other game, South Coast took on Sequel Masters in a close match, so close that each side scored 3 goals apiece, ending the match in a draw. Luke Pearce scored a cracker goal for South Coast that earned him a spot in the best players list. That's it for this week's Sports Wrap. If you would like your team's results featured in our bulletin, please let us know through our Facebook or Instagram.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, the amount of rainfall in Port Lincoln is lagging compared to this time last year.
Good evening. That's right, Maddie. In the first 12 days of July this year, we've seen just under 9 millimetres after recording another 2.8 last night. In the same time frame in July last year, more than 23 millimetres had fallen, but there's still time to catch up with 19 days left to catch up to last July's total of well over 100 mils. Port Augusta was partly cloudy and 16 degrees today. Port Pirie had a shower or two and was 15, and you needed the umbrella in Clare today, also showers and 12 degrees. Looking further out across the weather now. Partly cloudy for Woodner, which had today's top of 17 degrees, while and Kadina both reached 15. Port Lincoln was 16 and Broken Hill got to 13 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud pushing through South Australia with a cold front is bringing scattered showers to the southeast. Clouds scattering across the state south behind the front, which is producing only the odd shower over the west coast. High pressure is keeping conditions clear and settled in the north. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swells below 1 metre, increasing 1 to 2 metres south of Cal to Wallaroo. Port Lincoln and Woodner are both said to be partly cloudy and reach a top of 16 degrees. Cleve with a top of 14. A max of 15 degrees in Whyalla and Kadina, and Port Augusta will be partly cloudy and 16 degrees. Port Pirie will get to a high of 15, Clare to only reach 11, and Broken Hill will be mostly sunny and reach 13 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, beginning with Thursday's forecast. Sunny in Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy both to reach 17, mostly sunny in Whyalla with 15. Similar conditions in Port Pirie with 16 degrees, 13 the top in Broken Hill with mostly sunny conditions there, Kadina 14. To Friday now, showers developing in Woodner and Port Lincoln, partly cloudy in Whyalla and Port Pirie both 16. Morning frost expected in Broken Hill set to reach 15. Port Augusta with a max of 17. Let's take a first look at the beginning of the weekend now. Sadly, showers are forecast in most of the region on Saturday. Cooper Pedy will be sunny and 23. Port Augusta will be partly cloudy and 20. Cloud clearing over in Broken Hill with 17 the top there. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. Maddie, it's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little bit later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.